So, what have been the standout performances from Nigerian players over the past week? Firstly, I want to shout out Umar Sadiq. Omar Sadiq came on for Valencia in the 66 minutes in the league game against Real Sociedad, and he got on the score sheet literally less than 10 minutes later. Fantastic goal. Literally, I mean, strikers finish, you could call it. They squared the ball to him. And then initially, his touch actually hit the post, but then the ball somehow came back straight to him, and he just tapped it in from literally like 2 yards out. But anyway, he continues to have a really, really good spell. Probably the best spell of his career in the last 2, 3 years. So really, really good to see. He now has 4 goals out of 11 games for Valencia. Valencia have moved from 20th to 14th ever since he moved over. So that's a big, big shout out for Omar Sadiq. Sorry, he was not playing Real Sociedad. He was playing Rayo Vallecano. He left Real Sociedad. That's what I was trying to say. But really, really fantastic for him. Valencia, when he signed for them, were 20th and bottom of La Liga. Now they're 14th and definitely safe of the drop. So fantastic all-around performance from Omar Sadiq. He even had a chance to score a second one, but he was just a bit unlucky with the finish. Literally like from 2 yards, but the ball came at him a bit too quickly. And he couldn't add to his tally. But really, really good stuff from Umar Sadiq. Also, I wanted to shout out Alex Iwobi. Well, shout out to my cousin for getting him to shout me out.
Yo, Olu, yo, prayers, Alex here. Keep watching the football.
Alex Iwobi scored his 9th goal of the season in the Premier League. His best return ever in a Premier League season. Mind you, he plays as left winger, plays as central midfielder, plays as a cam in some games. So for him to continue having the best season of his career Premier League-wise is really something special to write home about. It's a shame that Chelsea were able to come back and win 2-1. Obviously, good luck, good for the Chelsea fans out there. But Fulham literally had this tie in control. And then Tyreek George, who's actually eligible to play for Nigeria, scored the equalizer before Pedro Neto scored an absolute belter towards the end of the game to make it 2-1. Really, really good finish for Pedro Neto, so I can't begrudge him that. But as for Alex Iwobi, he's Fulham's second top goal scorer this season and has been very, very impressive. There's even arguments where I know he was nominated for the team of the season on FIFA, for example, and he's just been, a fantastic player and servant for Fulham so far in the 2 years that he's been there. Really beginning to showcase his skills. He's already 28. He'll be 29 soon, or if he's not 29 already. So really and truly, he's in the prime of his career, and this continues to show with the performances he keeps putting up for Fulham FC. There's even an argument that he could be the best Nigerian player in the Premier League. He'll never have the shout-outs like Okocha for sure. But when you look at the longevity, the goals, the assists, and how long he's been playing in the Premier League, consistently, and he's been playing in Prem for over 10 years now, or at least close to 10 years, if I'm not mistaken. So shout out to Alex Iwobi. Despite the loss, I just wanted to shout you out for an incredible performance yet again. Also, I wanted to shout out to Ademola Lookman. Atalanta continue to get back to winning ways. They beat AC Milan 1-0 at the San Siro, courtesy of a goal from Ederson. Fantastic Brazilian central defensive midfielder. He can also play centre back. Now, despite Lookman not scoring in this game or assisting, this is one of those games that shows the value of the eye test. When you watch Lookman's performance in the game, or even the highlights, which I urge you to watch, you can see that he played a pivotal role in literally everything good that Atalanta did in this game. Even the goal they scored, it was him who clipped the ball into the box for Bellanova to then head the ball into the path of Ederson, who then had not a simple task, but was able to just guide his header into the back of the net past Mike Magnon. So fantastic goal. Also, after that, he created a gilt-edged chance for Mario Retegi to make it 2-0. Retegi somehow missed the goal. Honestly, it was easier to miss than it was easier to score than miss. But Retegi missed the chance. And even in stoppage time, he was very unlucky not to score. Very, very good effort as well, but it just didn't go in for him. But really, really good, fantastic game in terms of eyesight. And I want to shout out Ademola Lookman as Atalanta now consolidate third place in Serie A. They're too far behind at Inter Milan and Napoli because they have 64 points and those two teams have 71 with about 5 games to go. So they're not going to win the Scudetto. But they have a cushion over Bologna in 4th and Juventus. So as long as they consolidate that third place spot, Lookman will do his job for them. And in the summer, let's see what happens for Lookman regarding transfers. But really good performance. Also, I wanted to shout out David Okereke. He scored yet another goal for Gaziantep. It's his 8th league goal of the season. Yes, it's the Turkish league, but look, a goal is the goal. He also got an assist last week as well, so it's not been a bad season at all for him so far. He's been a bit of a journeyman in recent seasons because he's either been too good for teams that are in relegation zones, like in Syria when he was it Cremonese or one of those teams, or he's not quite good enough to play for the best sides in this so quote unquote smaller leagues. So Gaziantep you can say is like a nice compromise. I think they're fifth, sixth, or seventh in the league, and he's still doing pretty decently. Annoyingly though, Gaziantep conceded 2 goals after his early goal, and lost the game. But it's always nice to see a player do well and scoring goals for himself. Also, Tolu Arokodare scored his 19th league goal of the season. It's a shame that it came in a loss, as they lost 2-1. It's a bit too little, too late. Genk lost the game 2-1, and they now dropped to second. However, he's 1 goal ahead of Adriano Bertaccini of St. Truden, but it's still a good thing being a top goal scorer in the league despite Genk's ultimately poor result in this game. To make matters worse, they're playing against Union Saint-Gilloise, so that's one of the teams that's fighting for the title. So it's Genk, Union Saint-Gilloise, and Club Brugge, who all have a chance of winning that Belgian league title. But this loss by Genk now means that Rafael Yedika's Club Brugge have gone up to the top spot of the Belgian league, which I'll get into in a bit. Also, shout out Rafiu Durosimi. He scored a goal yet again for Victoria Pilsen in their 4-2 win over Dukla Praha over the weekend. It was his 7th goal after coming back from injury, and he's averaging a goal or assist in every 59 minutes played, which is just fantastic. He also has 5 goals. He has 5 goals or assists in his last 5 games. So we know he was supposed to make a move, initially, but the lengthy injury halted his plans. Sure, it should be very interesting to see where it ends up in the summer, or if he gives Victoria Pilsen another year, considering he just came back from an injury. So look out for that one. Also, shout out to Super Eagles #1 goalkeeper Stanley Nwabali. He had a great game and kept a clean sheet for Chippa United against Kaiser Chiefs over the weekend. I don't know if anyone's heard about, what's that guy? Something Mwamwa. Papa Mama, the famous Kaiser Chiefs fan. It'll be interesting to see what he would have thought about this game after Nwabali's performances. He made 3 saves for good measure, and the game ended 0-0. So although they didn't quite win, I mean, Nwabali did his job. And probably the star boy of the week, I wanted to shout out Chukwubuikem Ikwuemesi. He's a player that has been a bit of a journeyman too. He's played some Serie A games. I think it was at Salernitana for a bit last year or the year before. Played some Serie B games, played some Serie A games. And now he's in Belgium at OH Leuven. Leuven are currently playing in the Conference League playoff within the Belgian league table because they've all broken up into 6-team mini leagues, as you can tell. But he got 2 goals and got an assist for OH Leuven in their 4-4 draw against FCB Denda over the weekend. Now, you could say it's not the biggest or the toughest opposition, but anytime you get 2 goals and 1 assist in a match, 3-goal contributions, my brother, you have to be celebrated. So Chukwubuikem Ikwuemesi, congratulations and well done on your great performance.